Hello my dear friends, this is a PaintyKat. My name is Catherine. Today we're going to paint landscape with a watercolor. We're gonna use and combine interesting watercolors technique that giving us really beautiful final result. This video, this tutorial, it's a demonstration short version of real-time. You can find real-time tutorial on my Patreon, so join me there and we will paint this landscape step by step in all details. There we have more time to talk about how process going and with really learning techniques. We're talking a lot about color mixing, and also this kind of tutorials it's have voiceover. Why I have to do it? Because actually when artist painting and commenting same time, it's really difficult, can be, and actually we concentrating a lot on a painting. Some details can be missed and not commenting well because the most attention going to the working process. That's why I'm spending lots of time for voiceover and for commenting what moments we have to remember, what is the most important to improve skills, to learn how we getting this or those result. And actually that's why I decided to put real-time tutorials on a Patreon because again this is lots and lots of taking lots of work from me. So what we gonna do here? Spraying, very interesting technique. It's possible to use only on a good quality watercolor paper. It's the basic moment for all techniques, I believe, or watercolors techniques, because it's a question of water control on a paper. When we're spraying, you can see right now this interesting looking edge for future tree. It's done with spraying. When we spray water on top, go with small amount of pushes, like 1 to 3, and that's enough. We're looking for separated dots of water on top of the paper, and we have to be kind of fast because in 5-7 minutes water starting to go into the middle layer of a paper. While it's not happened yet, we can give watercolor pigment to the drops on top of the paper, and that's how watercolor spreading, and that's how we creating this unique looking edges and details, looking very nice. And what I like about it, it's looking not as created with hands. I mean, if we going with just a normal brush stroke, it's possible to analyze what type of brush artist use, what pressure he gave to the brush, right? But when we're using some interesting techniques, for example spraying, it's creating so unique final result. Sometimes it's not possible to analyze. If you didn't saw a demonstration of this technique before, you probably will not understand how the final result was created, right? So here it's a combination of spraying for the sky area, it is. For the mounting, same, it's a spraying for the shape of future Sakura hair on a foreground. It's also spraying, and also we're combining with another unique looking technique, which is dry brushing. I really like this technique with watercolor, what it's mean, how to control it. Let me create this tiny tree here, and as soon as I will start dry brush, I will comment it more. Also important, when we're working with watercolor, it's a translucent type of paints, so we can easily go for the light tone to the deeper tones, but it's more issue if we want to go from the deep tone to the lighter one, because watercolor have no coverage, it's translucent. So be accurate. Better start with a very gentle shade, lots of water, not that much of pigment in my mix right now, and as soon as you sure in a shape, you can dot more pigment, more color in a wet area, color spreading very soft, very gentle, so you can control this way, you can control tone. And by the way, of course, we have layering, so if we will later decide we wanna get deeper tone here on there or there, it's always possible to get. About colors here, very important, we created a hill behind first, right? So if you already moved to the Sakura blooming, try to avoid green areas, try not to go there with a pink, because if you will check those color circle where we have all colors together going and you will see they're green and red, they opposite each other. That means as soon as we mixing them, they meeting each other in the center of the color circle, it's giving us gray, right? Theoretically it's giving black, but here we working with a light tone, pink and green, so it will give us gray looking or dirty looking elements. We don't need it, so it's not an issue if it's a tiny elements, like a really tiny edges, but if you will put a lot of pink on a green, it can be an issue, so try to avoid those areas you already filled with the green. About light direction here, it's going from the right to the left, so we will keep lightest area on a crown as a white, so there gonna be lots of white, and if we're going on a shadow part, there we can go with a little bit deeper tone. And still look, it's so light right now. Again, with watercolor we can easily get deeper colors if later we'll decide we need to. Here I'm using spraying technique again, means it's now so visible, I believe for you as well, because especially for this tutorial I put extra light from the side, so it's more visible here, those tiny dots. See, it's not a huge areas wetted right now, it's a separated elements, and I'm dotting color into the wet areas, looking very nice and interesting. Where we can use spraying, it can be waves, it can be clouds on the sky, will look natural and very interesting as well. It can be tree crones, or so many details possible to create with this technique. See, paper wet, so I can dot extra color and it's spreading very soft. dry brush technique. Main issue there, it's tone control, how to create light strokes. Look, I put color on my plastic palette. I put there lots of water, so color light pink there. After I got this mix on my brush, light pink, I'm removing extra water from my brush with a toilet paper. It's not just a simple paper napkin. From my experience, I tried so many paper napkins, and from my experience, toilet paper, soaking water the best. It was just creating for this, so yes, even if it's funny, it's working so nice. Take a look how I'm removing extra water. I'm not trying to push hard with my fingers. I am only touching with my brush, with one side of it, toilet paper, extra soaking into the paper. And important also for dry brushing, we have to go fast. And if you will go fast, your brush will give color to the paper, fragment by fragment, piece by piece. And it will have many distances, tiny dots of empty paper between different areas. That's how we're going. So speed here important also. Even if you're trying your best, even if you want to be really accurate, remember about speed. I mean, sometimes beginners wanna go their best, really, so they're trying to paint very slow, line by line, piece by piece. It's not gonna work with a dry brush. You have to go like fast. You can spend time to find the area you wanna create this effect, but as soon as you already imagined where you want to go with this technique, dry brushing, you have to be fast, like a ninja. Very important. Of course, it's a question of practice, but also it's a question of tiny technical moments, right? So remember about speed, remember about tone control, and watery control with a napkin. This is a 3 keys to the really beautiful dry brushing. Again, in a real-time tutorial, we're talking more about it because there we have more time and we can go area by area, piece by piece, without any cut moments from the tutorial. As soon as crown's done, we can move to the next step, which is detailing. Detailing very depends from the previous result, from your previous work, and try to check from the distance how you're painting looking at this moment. About trunks, about tree. Of course, nice if you're collecting interesting photos of trees. No matter if you catch it by your own with a photo or mobile, right? You're collecting, or it's you find photos somewhere in the internet. Doesn't matter. Try to keep on your own photo bank the most interesting shapes of twigs and branches. And as soon as you're creating landscape, for example, you're creating those beautiful blooming pink crown, and you want to create some old looking curvy Sakura trunk. It's hard to get from imagination this shape. Because, for example, as for me, I'm living not in Japan, so not many this type of trees around me. So how I'm gonna get it from imagination? No way! Of course I will take elements from the photo. So combine interesting natural looking elements from the real pictures. And also remember, it's not a solid silhouette. It's gonna be a distance between different segments of trunk or twigs. This way you're creating effect like crown going on top of the trunks and twigs. And this way, of course, you will create more value for your trees. Same for the trees on the left side. About color here, it's just the sepia. I'm not mixing it with any other colors, and I'm just playing around the tone. It's lighter or darker. I'm trying to go with a lighter if I want to keep control on details, or I can go with a deeper tone straight if it's dry brushing, for example. About cast shadow here, we have here area with the blue and the pink. There, I recommend you to avoid mixing these two together because it's giving violet. Violet, interesting, but same time kind of dangerous color, because if we have too many, especially on a sky area, violet giving cloudy effect, like a weather gonna change to the from the sun to the cloudy or even rainy. But as for the cast shadows, if we have a daylight, warm light, shadows can contain blue or violet there. If you will look, really attentive. It's especially visible not from the photos, but from the nature. If you will go around and you will have a sunny day, try to analyze what colors of shadows you can see, right? Sometimes it's a really nicely visible violet. Here I don't want to go with a clear violet. In my opinion, it will take to draw too much attention from the crowns. So I want to go with soft violet. So it's a mix of three actually colors. It's a violet, blue and a sepia a little bit. So it's still violet, right? But look how gentle and not juicy it's looking here. About shape, if we creating trees with the leaves on it, it's actually more solid, because leaves can look mosaical on a tree. It's can be placed really close to each other, because a tree looking for more sun, right, for life of the tree. But when tree blooming, flowers not close to each other, so our crown gonna have lots of windows, holes in the crowns, and you can see, right, green windows. We can see landscape behind through the crown. About cast shadow, the same. It's not a solid, it's a lacy, it's very lightweight. So I also remember about it, right? Next big moment about this landscape and layering in general, it's question of contrast. As soon as you're creating more contrasted right part of the composition, right now in this tutorial it's a right part. For example, I want to create more interesting looking areas on a main tree here. In this moment I have to get the same on a left part of the composition. Also remember about dry brushing, control watery. Here work going faster, because actually it's not a main part of the composition. So here brush strokes can be bigger, details can be not that tiny. As soon as contrast on left side also going a bit deeper. Trees on the left, sitting in a composition better. That's what I mean. If you're changing something, you're looking for better look, you have to analyze if parts combining together well. I love this color. It's a carmine, very transparent, looking beautiful, and as I know from our botanical garden, we have sakura trees only there. It's a color of sakura. I wish one day I will have a chance to walk on a sakura blooming alley here where I'm living right now. It's kind of cold city. Of course, we have like 5 trees, I believe 5 trees in a botanical garden in my city. It was presented from Japan to St. Petersburg, but trees, they are so tiny. It's not possible to walk, as in an alley. It's possible to stay close to them or sit on the ground under. Trees are so tiny. It's a kind of young still. But color there I saw, usually visiting sakura blooming each year there, and it's in my view it's exactly carmine color. I'm gonna spread some dots, and you can see right now I have actually white watercolor. It's still half translucent and have not so good coverage as acrylic have, for example. I like it more. And dots, look, it's so tiny and so gentle because of consistency. It's watery because it's a watercolor, even if it's a white. So dots gonna look tinier, more gentle. I like it more. I'm going with the 3 colors here. By the way, guys, if you have no white watercolor, yes, you can go with a white acrylic, but be accurate. Give acrylic very nice watery consistency. This way, acrylic will sit perfectly on your final result. Actually, with acrylic, also possible to fix some tiny mistakes that can be on a result. And I will also give a tiny petals, like 1, 2. I have to go randomly, it's important. It's not a polka dot fabric, right? So I wanna go randomly here and there. And these flying leaves giving a feeling of blowing wind. Very like it. That's it, my painting done. My dear friends, if you still have questions, welcome on my Patreon. There we have real-time tutorials, and we can talk more about techniques we used for this landscape. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel. We will have more tutorials in the future, and also I have free demonstration tutorials. You can check it, and you can see how real-time tutorials usually going. Also, don't be shy to share to me your paintings through the Instagram #PaintyKat. So this time I will able to see them. Also through the Facebook or Patreon. It was a PaintyKat. I wish you all the best. Bye bye.